How you doing today?
I'm pretty freaking good.
Yeah.
I was gonna drop an F-bomb, but I stopped myself. I'm
Oh,
awesome.
dude, just keep it completely real, man. Everyone wants to know how you really are. Like we were talking about last night over dinner. Tiamo was saying, right? You got the people that are here, and when we're in our leadership, we have this certain image that we put out, and then we have this other side of us, right? So be as real as you want to be, in presenting yourself and who the real Dane Maxwell is.
Well, thank you. As I think about dropping F-bombs, I actually don't know if it's actually the real me that says that.
Hmm.
Uh, because when I notice when I use an F word, my body kind of goes sort of numb, but like an aggressive sort of numb. But if I really drop into the question, if you ask me how I'm really doing, I want to say I'm effing awesome. But the truth, I think the real answer that actually allows me the greatest capacity to feel is you say, "How are you doing?" I say, "I'm just like really grateful to be alive."
Hmm.
And how much better does that feel than effing awesome? Because it's more real for me.
The higher vibration that you're coming from, That's really
Yeah.
cool. Thank you for that.
Mhm.
So, I wanted to take this time to have a conversation with you because we got Elevation Weekend coming up at the end of this month, the 27th, 28th, 29th. And I think what's really important for those that may be interested in joining us that weekend is to have an idea of the people that will be present there, um, and who they are and where they come from, because my belief, it's really important to be in a group of like-minded individuals when you're engaging in this type of work that we're going to be doing. So I'd like to take this time to um, ask you a few questions, find out where you're from, what you love to do, what lights you up, what you want to accomplish in the world, and then you tell us a little bit about why you are joining us for Elevation Weekend. So let's just start, with where you're from and a little bit about your upbringing and how you got to today.
How long is this interview?
As long as you want it to be. Let's try to make it in like 20, 30 minutes. I think that'd be good.
All right, cool. Yeah. So, born and raised in Iowa. Good Midwestern manners. I'm a gentleman, but don't mistake this for weakness or lack of direction. And I was homeschooled till seventh grade. And in the first up until seventh grade in my life, that's really what kind of set the tone for me in my life because I had food allergies and I was really socially awkward, still am, and so my mom pulled me out of school in first grade and we homeschooled till seventh grade and we didn't have television in the house until a certain age and my mom would have me listening to like learning how to speak Spanish tapes when we would be in the car because she understood that something about the way the brain works is that the wiring gets sort of established by a certain age. So she didn't want any TV or any distraction like that. So I think that's why my mind is so weird. Not weird to me, but like weird when I go out into the world and see the other things that people think about and talk about. I'm like, wow, like the stuff that I think about is definitely marching to the path of a different drum beat,
Mm,
very, very different drum beat. And it all started with, I think, the wisdom of my mother and all of her infinite love for me and raising me there. And then, I went to high school, went to college, nine job interviews, failed, and I was so bad at job interview questions because I was honest. Like, where are you going to be in 5 years? Well, I don't know. Hopefully, not working with you guys. Like, oh, you don't want that answer. Oh, okay. So the next job interview, where are you going to be in 5 years? Well, hopefully adding a lot of value to the company. But then they go to the next question that I haven't prepared for, and so my first honest answer. So because I'm so honest, the corporate world doesn't work for me.
mm,
And not to say that the corporate world is dishonest. However, every time I was honest, it was not very well received. And I had an internship, and I voiced my opinion publicly to some of the biggest people in the company. And I'll never forget when I asked the. I'll never forget. I was so terrified. But there was this big dinner partner at Ernst and Young, and I was working at Ernst and Young as an intern, and making a whopping $21 an hour. And I was like, man, this is so much money. And I was like, But I was traveling and I was miserable, dude, so miserable. So I asked everybody at the table. I said, "Hey, is anybody actually happy here?"
Mm.
And I heard like forks clink, 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 clink come down all over all the plates. And this one guy next to me is like, "Yeah, man, I'm happy here." And I was like, "Really? Why?" And he's like, "Well, 'cause I got to do something new every day." And I was like, "Well, really? What did you do today?" And he's like, "Oh, I did XYZ task." And it just so happened that I had done the same XYZ task that day. And I was like, well, that task totally blows. And so you can do something new every day, but if it sucks and it's new every day, it doesn't matter. It still sucks. And so, and you know, I was the person sitting next to me. They were auditors, and he was an auditor for Ernst & Young, and his wife was an auditor for Deloitte and Touche. And so, like, if he's home, she's traveling, and if she's home, he's traveling. And I was like, no, that's where I'm dropping that bomb. No fucking way will I live my life that way. I will be by my wife. I will be raising my children. I'll be in the dirt with my kids. I will not miss a single one of their sports games,
Mm.
and I'll be for the most amazing father in the world. And it won't involve being away. And it's like I can't build a life like this. So I walked away from that internship, and I proceeded to fail 9 job interviews. And so then I ended up getting scammed for about $12,000 buying a business. I had $123 to my name, $123 in the bank. I don't know if you've ever logged into like your Wells Fargo or your whatever your bank is. You log into your bank and you see $123 in your bank account, and you don't have any picture in your mind of how to make money, and you don't have any idea where any more money is coming from, and you just like feel completely hopeless and powerless and helpless. It's awful and it's terrifying. So I hunkered down, and I don't know, I got probably angry at the time, and we're just propelled forward, and I proceeded to start building these software companies and these software products, and I built my first software product, and got down to about 6 figures a year in the first year. I built about 7 products since, and fast forwarding to today, thank goodness I failed the 9 job interviews, and thank goodness I got scammed for the 12 grand. And thank goodness I had my back up against the wall for $123, because now, because of that, today it exists. Today we have the foundation. And yes, yes, yes. And the foundation is the foundation is pure love.
Mm.
And it's we create families for entrepreneurs. You know, at the foundation, we have a 5-phase framework that any entrepreneur anywhere in the world, regardless of their circumstance, can start a company from nothing with virtually 0 risk using this 5-part framework. I fight, and I love and I fight, and I'm a warrior for the underdog. Don't you dare fuck with my underdog friends or whatever. I don't have underdog friends, but like, don't you dare screw with them. Like, I will fight viciously for the underdog. And that's what my undone to do is. You know, some like your undone, Jay, is working with leaders and making them greater in their impact. I kind of butchered that. My undone is working with the underdog. It's putting my hand down and saying, no, you are worth it. You are amazing. You have so much value to give. Let me grab your hand and let me pull you up so you can stand where you belong. And so the foundation is we also have people who aren't underdogs, who are really successful entrepreneurs in the foundation, and yeah. So the foundation is we create family for entrepreneurs. Mm. And entrepreneurs are some of the loneliest people on the planet. And it's not uncommon to hear about an entrepreneur committing suicide because of the loneliness they feel, and also because if they, launching a failed product to an entrepreneur, launching a failed product is among one of the worst feelings in the world. I can even feel like tears and sadness and depression coming up just feeling the pain of like, you have this venture, you put your heart, your soul into it, for your blood, your sweat, your tears, everything, and you have anxiety the whole time, this whole ride of like 6 months or whatever it takes, and then you launch it and it fails. The world's just like, sorry, we don't resonate the way that you do. And if you don't have that family there to pick you up, because make no mistake, entrepreneurship's not about much more than failing a lot and failing really fast. And if you can fail a lot and fail really fast among a support structure of family, which is what the foundation is, then that's just like the greatest. That's the greatest thing ever for me, because, my mom told me, she's really wise, and she gives other moms advice, And one of the things that parents will often do with their kids, which I'd be very careful to not do, I'm not going to be perfect, but careful not to do, is they give their kids specific advice. You know, you should go to college, get good grades, get a job. You should go do this, do this. You should go sign up for dance or sign up for hockey or whatever it is that you want to do. But my mom always said, don't ever tell your kid a single thing to do. They will find their way. Instead, unconditionally love them so much, and love them no matter what they choose, and they will find their way. And if they come to you and ask questions, great, you can provide a few pointers. But just like loving the children unconditionally and letting them find their way, that's really what I do in the foundation. I think of myself as kind of Papa Bear in the foundation, and I'm just like beaming all this unconditional love down on all these entrepreneurs. And it's like, you know, they joined to build a software business because that's what we teach, but because we're so unconditionally loving, and because, you know, I'll be in tears with some of our students and be like, I love you, to a student, and they're like, wait, what? Dane said he loves me? And I was like, no, I love you a lot, like so much. I would be so sad if you weren't here right now. And then for whatever reason, they start to become more resourceful. They start to break norms. They start to break out of patterns. They start to find their vision. They start to find their alignment. They start to find their purpose. They start to find themselves. And in the foundation, that can be possible. So while we teach software, it's really about family. And within that family, it's blanketed heavily with unconditional love and unconditional acceptance for someone exactly as they're showing up. And man, oh, we're so successful.
Wow.
You know, the first class we wanted 10 students to join, and 88 students joined. Second class we wanted 200, 336 joined. Third class we wanted 500 students. Like, how are we going to handle 500 students? I don't know. 667 joined. You know, it's just like.
I'm not surprised though. Not surprised at all. Like when the answer is love to everything, Dane, and I love your heart, and the success that you've attained is a reflection of how big that fucking heart is that you have inside of you, man. And thank you for sharing that, because that's an important piece that I think maybe is missing in a lot of organizations, is how much love they give to the people that are surrounding them and the team that's involved in the process.
I was at an event, an NLP event, and I'm kind of burnt out on events, unless it's the EvoRoom, of course.
Yeah.
And it was this NLP event. It was like 2 or 3 days. It's a 5-day event, you know. It's like, oh man, 5 days. Anyway, like 2 days in, this guy comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, Dane. Hey, yeah, I actually know you. You know, Jonathan Nation is my team leader." And I was like, wait, Jonathan Nation's in the foundation? He's like, yeah, Jonathan Nation's my team leader. I'm in the foundation. And I just wanted to come say hi. And he's at this event. And I was like, I think I dropped an F-bomb. I said, what the fuck? Why did you wait 3 days to come say hi to me? Why did you wait 3 whole days to come say hi? We ended up, now I'm at this event, I'm feeling kind of like a little bit lonely, like, I'm just kind of like out of my element at this event. And he comes and he says, hey, Dane, I'm in the foundation. Immediately I lit up. I was like, oh, it's one of my family members. It's my family's here. Mm-hmm. And like, I embraced him and I gave him a hug, and I think we hugged for at least a minute. Mm-hmm. You know, 2 dudes hugging for a minute. Like, you have the 10, 15-second like urge to pull away. Mm-hmm. No. It was just a continual relaxing. And of course, the judgmental mind's going off in the background. Does this hug stop? And then the heart's like, stay right here. Mm. And then after that, we went and sat down on a table next to each other. And I said, Kane, I love you. And he said, thanks. And I was like, a lot. And the I love you was like, you kind of felt it, but then it was like a lot. And then his whole body was like, like he couldn't almost like it. And we were both in tears And I was like, I don't think you know, I love you a lot. Like, really, seriously. And then we started holding hands at the table. And, I said, this kind of feels a little weird, but as we're holding hands or whatever, it's up publicly on the table, like everybody can see it. And it's kind of weird, but like, I was like, you can pull your hand away at any time. He's like, okay, I don't want to. And he's like, you can pull your hand away at any time. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to be there. And so Cain is family in the foundation. And the foundation represents belonging, safety, acceptance, and love for entrepreneurs in a world starved for it. Mm. And you know who's most starved for it? It's the guy who's getting emotional talking about it right now. Why do you think I created the organization in the first place? It's like, why doesn't love like this exist in the world? So I went to all this effort and all this exertion to become very successful at software, and then to teach this whole framework about how to build a software business. But I'm just fooling everybody because they all join to build a lucrative software business, and then they come out a different human. Their heart beats differently. Eventually, like, I want to build a city for the foundation, or like a college campus for the foundation, and in terms of like impact on the world and things like that. Of course, we want the impact to be worldwide, and of course, like, when I'm laying on my deathbed, if this was my glass here, and this glass was, like, did you live your life to the last drop? Did you have all the adventures that you wanted to have? Did you have all the excitement that you could ever dream? Like, I won't judge my life. I won't judge. I don't like that necessarily like that. That word doesn't fit right now. I won't evaluate my life based on if I feel like I lived my life to the last drop. No, I will evaluate my life, if I can even get it out, based on how many people that I have impacted to love themselves in some way. Like, I can't even say it, but it's like, the question is something along the lines of, did I do everything in my power and everything in my amazing power to empower as many people to live a life they love and to also love themselves? And that will be my glass to the last drop. Not if I went on snowboarding trips or heli-skied or any of the things that I could go do tomorrow that don't light me up.
I'd kiss you right now, Dane, if I was sitting right there.
Yeah, it's a nice, big, full black man lips.
Oh, man. Like, if every entrepreneur or every CEO, executive that exists in the corporations that are here today thought and behaved like you did, Dane, this world would be such a better place, and such a place of harmony and love, and we need more of that, and which is why I know that we attracted each other into our experiences. It's perfect timing, and I'm just so grateful to know you and to know your heart and to hear, what you want to bring into this world. And that's a great segue into what you want to accomplish. You mentioned, the foundation, college. What else do you want to accomplish in this world? What do you envision for yourself?
I'm still exploring this. Like, do you have clarity on this?
Mm-hmm.
I'm still exploring this. We have goals like, we want 1 million entrepreneurs with their first paying customer by the year 2020, right? But for me, it's not even about the 1 million entrepreneurs with their first paying customer. It's about the transformation of someone's heart in the journey to get that first paying customer. Because going from this, like, sort of like, gosh, could I ever be an entrepreneur, to getting your first paying customer is like this huge recognition that, oh my gosh, I have value as a person. Well, first off, it's also a kind of a misconception that you have value if someone buys your product. Because someone's not buying you; they're actually the value's in your product. Your value is God given. Yeah. But to have that be sort of a stair step way in, that feels wonderful. So a million entrepreneurs by year 2020. However, the currently at age 30, I'll be 31 in August. Currently at where I am at the level that my mind thinks at, and then where my heart's at, where I envision Dane in his best, highest impact element is a gorgeously constructed, created college-like campus where 5,000 to 10,000 entrepreneurs from all around the world can come year-round to start businesses from nothing, regardless of their circumstance. And in this gorgeously constructed university that's privately funded, privately ran, away from the rules that would hinder us from being unconditionally loving. Any rule that hinders us from being unconditionally loving, I'm like fiercely like no, like so in this image, the image that I have is I'm sort of this professor, and I have this sport coat on, and I've got the patches on the elbows like a professor, the brown patches on the elbows, and I walk around with my arms behind my back. And every morning I get to wake up out of bed, probably not this bed, maybe it could be this bed, but I wake up out of morning and my feet hit the floor, and I have the most amazing wife. I have the most amazing children. They're just like to die for. Like, oh, I can feel them already. And and I have that family, and then I leave and I go on to Foundation Campus. And on Foundation Campus, I just get to walk around all day. And I'm just intuitively called to, if there's a group of students sitting over there in a circle and they're discussing some sort of entrepreneurial whatever, I may just come and sit with them, for a little bit. If there's another entrepreneur who's really struggling with some sort of idea, and then I get to sit with them, and I see into their heart, and I see into their soul, and I actually see that what they're struggling with has nothing to do with the idea, but a really deep self-esteem issue, a very deep self-love issue, and I can just love them so unconditionally in that moment, and help trace the trauma back to the root origin and heal that and yada yada in that moment, and have them leaving, and then leave, have them feeling completely loved. That's like, I can't imagine a better life than that right now.
What a beautiful vision, and rooted in love, as you've done everything. I mean, that's what attracts me the most to this vision is all that love that you want to give to creating this campus and to the people that will be participating as students. I mean, I see nothing but greatness coming from that vision. So you have my support, Dane, and whatever it takes to create that vision, and I got your back.
I gotta say, it feels really uncomfortable to have you approving of me so much.
Hmm. Why is that so uncomfortable?
Well, let's just dive right into Dane's shit here. Clearly, there's this part of me that's walking around that's like still like, whoa, could it really be true that you could actually have everything that you ever wanted? And not only that, but could it really be true that you could actually impact this kind of change? Well, I'm going to do this, and this is going to happen regardless of how I feel about it. It will happen. And I know this campus will happen in some variation or the other. And I know that I'll ultimately get everything that I want in some variation or the other. But what I'm really present to is just how this feeling is still there. It's like, wow, Jay really likes me a lot. I can feel that Jay really loves me a lot. Let me lean back in my chair a little bit and get away from this deep approval of my vision and deep approval of who I am. That's what I'm feeling, Jay. It's like, wow, I just feel a real deep approval for who I am around you.
Mm.
And I don't think I've had enough of that in my life.
Mm. See you, Dane. Thank you for sharing that and being so open and vulnerable with where you are. Um, true sign of a warrior and of a man, and who can't appreciate that. We all have that within us that challenges, and limits us from getting to our fullest potential. But we need each other. You know, we need each other, and I do see that in you. I see the potential, and that's the gift that I have as a human being, to be able to see through people's shit and see who they are, who they truly are, and help to unfold that within them. And I see that within you, Dane. I want the best for you. I want everything that you have in your mind as a desire that you want to create, because I know, again, it's rooted in love, and that's going to create so much goodness out in the world for everyone to experience and to be fulfilled from.
Amen.
So, last thing I want to touch upon, we got Elevation Weekend coming up, and the core focus of the weekend is to bring together leaders like yourself and to enhance their impact in the world. And I'm curious why you decided to join and participate in this weekend.
The only real reason is because you invited me, and and because I know who you are is badass, and the photos of the house look pretty cool, and and that's like honestly just because I like you a lot, like, and I just trust you. I trust you implicitly. I've never worked with you. I've never done anything with you at all. But I just implicitly trust you, and I trust that, like, if you invited me to this, like, I'm like, all right, I would trust Jay with a lot, and so that's why I'm coming, because you told me to.
Hmm. Wow. Thank you so much. That's good enough for me. I can tell you that.
I mean, I could say something like, well, to enhance my leadership skills and become a greater impact leader. You know what? No, no, it's not. It's to have fun and to expand my heart.
Hmm. Well, thank you for being honest,
Yeah.
because that those are best reasons I could think of. You know, open your heart and have some fun. That's a
Yes.
way to growth. I see in my eyes.
Well, yeah, and sometimes I even wonder, I'm like, man, do we even need to do all this leadership stuff? Like, doesn't it just kind of happen naturally because it's who we are? Like, we're just like naturally leading. So, like, for me, like, I don't even really focus on leadership. I just focus on love. And, I'm not gonna lie. Like, last night at the dinner, I said I'm not gonna lie. It's like it implies that I've been lying this whole time. I have not lied once this entire time. So let's just throw that phrase out.
Thank you.
And so last night I was like, I really like being friends with Jay. And I really like the idea of being friends with everyone here. I was like, do I have to, or do we have to change the world to be friends? Or can we just be friends without that? Or are we united in our friendship because we just naturally do this? And I was kind of like spinning on all this last night, and I was like, interesting, like, so I really like, I'm not very end result driven in that, I'm looking to get to this, we have a million entrepreneurs by 2020 in the college campus and that, but like, honestly, I don't know if you'll find a more laid back guy that's just like, man, I just coming to have fun, and I don't really care about much else. Let the details take care of themselves.
Right.
Like, these people that come to conference, Jay, and they're like, I'm coming to get something out of it. And I always feel like there's the uncomfortable cough. I feel kind of like, what are you getting? There's nothing you need to get. Like, there's no missing thing that you're getting. It's just like, just turn a few switches on inside of you and have fun.
Hmm.
I
So,
could ramble for a while. I'll stop on that.
what was that?
I said I could keep rambling on that, I think, so I'll just stop now.
Yeah, it's that lights me up, because just knowing that you know that, which is to just be, not having expectations or attachment to an outcome, that's a true sign of someone that has natural leadership abilities.
Hmm.
Yeah? And without wanting or desiring to be a leader, you are already just that, and that's amazing. And you're going to be an amazing contributor to this weekend. I know that. And I'm excited to see what unfolds for you in your life, Dane, after this experience. We know July 4th is a special day. We'll share that with everyone afterwards, what that day is going to be like for you. Um, and as I said, on the patio here at the house, I'm excited to be a part of that journey for you and to do whatever I can to guide you towards um, that person you envision yourself to be, that person that I think you already are that exists within you, and to align you closer and closer to uh, that person that comes through you as this amazing human being with so much love to give. And the more and more you can give that into the world, the more and more impact that you're going to make. So thank you for saying yes to yourself and yes to being a part of this weekend. And I'm really excited, man. Super excited.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Any last things you want to say before we sign off for the day?
Nope.
Good to go?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Dane, once again, taking the time, your precious, precious time to come on and have this conversation with me today. I really, really appreciate it and so grateful.
Yeah, I suppose the best probably should be like, well, if you'd like to see more about the movement we are creating, you could go to thefoundation.com
Mm,
if you're called.
yes. Thefoundation.com. Visit it. I'll post it all over the place for people to experience it and get exposed to more of what Dane Maxwell is doing in the world. You're doing some beautiful things. Thank you so much, Dane. Thank you so much, man. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome, Jay.
Have a great day, man. We'll talk soon, okay?
Yeah.
Later, brother.